Iranian authorities have declared 3 days of mourning after a chemical blast at a port in southern Iran killed 40 people and injured more than 1,000. For more, we're joined by Iran analyst Ali Fathollah-Nejad. Ali, until now, we've not really heard from Tehran officials about what caused the disaster.
Well, what we have heard so far is a statement also by the spokesperson of Iran's defense ministry that the explosions had nothing to do with military equipment. Although there is strong evidence that the opposite is true, because after all, we don't have to forget that the Iranians were in need of solid fuel for ballistic missiles after Israel, in its attack last October, had not only knocked out the entire air defense system of Iran, but also production sites for missiles.
What appears to be supporting that? No senior officials have suggested the blast was an attack either. Why would Tehran be cautious about all of this information?
Well, I think there is a lot of confusion also among the Iranian authorities as to what has happened. What we know is that the intelligence services of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is also the military organization in Iran that is in charge of the nuclear and missile programs, have been flooding the region. There is heavy militarization. There are apparently investigations into what has happened. But there is a strong likelihood that, as I said, that this is connected to the import by Iran from China of solid fuels for ballistic missiles.
And how much damage was caused? Looking at those pictures, those fires were very large and lasted quite a while. Is it a significant loss for Tehran?
Well, it is absolutely devastating. You don't have to forget that the particular port in question is the most important Iranian port that is also handling 85% of Iranian imports. More than 10,000 at least containers have been damaged in the wake of those explosions. We don't know if explosions happened at various points or if there was a chain reaction. Probably the first is true. So one could also think of sabotage here, that those detonations were made from afar or from agents on the ground. But economically speaking, this is absolutely devastating if you consider the fact of 85% of Iranian imports going through this port at the time of probably the most severe economic crisis that the Islamic Republic of Iran has endured.
And also, if we speak about timing, the incident occurred as Iran held a third round of nuclear talks with the US in Oman. What came out of that meeting?
Well, there are still some sticking points regarding those Iran-USA talks. First, on the level of Iran's nuclear enrichment, whether the Iranians will be allowed to do it at home. And most importantly, the most important sticking point is the missile program. And there has been worries by some third parties, especially Israel, that the Trump administration is not really taking care of this point. Hence, the theory that this blast at Rajai port in southern Iran has to do something with Israel. So the missile program is something that the Israelis want definitely to be dealt with because of the experiences of the last 2 years or so. So they're clearly favoring the so-called Libya model, which means the complete dismantling, not only of Iran's nuclear program, but also its missile program. So at this point, there seems that between the Iranian and the US sides, there may still be some gaps.
And just finally, Iran says it's repelled one of the most widespread and complex cyber attacks on its infrastructure. What do we know about that?
Actually, we don't know. We don't have any evidence on this point. It could be the case, but it could also not be the case. We've seen in the past few years and also earlier that statements from the Iranian authorities cannot be taken at face value. The timing of this statement is also interesting. Perhaps it is intended to project strength at a time when weakness is very much at play with the explosion and with the authorities who didn't care about the safe storage of such chemicals.
Fascinating to get your views. Ali Fathollah-Nejad, thank you.
You're most welcome.